Yeah,
It's got it.
the number is 712-775-7031, and then the ID is 254-049-273. Then I'll say it one more time. The number is 712-775-7031, and the ID is 254-049-273, and that's to listen live via conference call.
Exactly. And so, um, I think we're at the point where we're gonna get into solutions. We frame this from what is the state of emergency, um, what is what is the buildup, what does this look like in different parts of the country. We didn't even talk about different parts of the world like Greece and the like
Israel.
Israel, Palestine, what this looks like in parts of Africa, Gaza, and what this looks like in South America. This is happening
Indonesia.
in Indonesia. This happened in Australia. This happened all over the world, and I just jump into like solutions from the way I see it is that there will be no lasting solution that works with us separated from alienating ourselves and creating our silos. And you don't have to consciously create a silo. If you're not in solidarity with other people that are also under oppression, then you're creating silos. And you're perpetuating silos. And the silo is um, a, a silo is the absence of unity. It's a separate entity doing its own thing. And so what I'm getting at is that these connections, I'm making connections with different people from, I know people that are going to Palestine, creating connections there. There's some people from Brazil that came up for solidarity, uh, and kind of sharing with us what their movements look like down there. There are people from Greece, there are people from the UK, people from Australia. Until we're all holding and pointing the finger at who's really at fault here. And yes, it's the cops that are they're just the tip of the blade. Who's holding the sword? Like that's kind of how I look at it. Or who's holding the gun or whatever. Who's pressing the buttons? Who's the puppet master? Until we start pointing a finger at these bankers that have addresses, that have names, that have companies, that are really behind all of the global affairs, um, we won't be ready for war.
Yeah, basically, any long-term or lasting solution involves unity, as you said. So, just for example, if you pick any thing that we're going through today, and you use unity, I mean, you can solve it overnight, pretty much. So, for example, water fluoridation. If you want to stop it, everybody don't pay the water bill, and see how fast they take the fluoride out of the water. Or I mean, anything like GMOs. If we stop buying it as a whole, as a collective, then they will have to stop producing it because they wouldn't make any money. And that's the whole name of the game, is to make money. So I mean, that's the lasting effects is I mean, well, the lasting any lasting solution takes unity. That's one. But until then, we definitely want to uplift being prepared for emergencies. So just acquiring as many skills as you possibly can. Water storage, food storage, learning, just learning how to do different things. That's one. And two, I posted a post today about the Tet offensive, which was in the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we need to be studying is, guerrilla warfare tactics, unconventional warfare. Um, as opposed to going head up, because if we're not necessarily outnumbered, but we're out organized and we're out strategized and we're out gunned. And so in order to win against those odds, you have to be unconventional in your warfare tactics. So that's what we need to study. The guerrilla wars. We need to study. I guess it's called the Geechee. Right. Yeah, we need to study, Vietnam, because that was the turning point for the Vietnam War. Was that Tet offensive where they they just used unconventional tactics inside of the city to turn it around, turn the war around, and that's what turned the people against the Vietnam War, was that particular situation. And the other solution that we have is to leave. And somebody said earlier on Facebook, we shouldn't leave because that's basically giving up and letting them have our resources, because we built this country and all of that. But I mean, they already have it, so it is not unadmirable, or it's not cowardly to relocate and reorganize and re-strategize. So if we left, we take our labor, we take our dollars, and then we could take that and build up our own instead of constantly funding our own oppression. Because us participating in the system, we keep giving our money to the same people that's using it against us. So if we take it and build up our own, then it'll be better off. Well, we'll be better off, and it'll kind of cripple their system, because that's withdrawing $1 trillion from the economy.
My solutions is mostly mental, because from my perspective, we're dealing with emotional, mental issues. Um, and the first one is to love yourself again. Understand that by you not loving yourself, you're helping the system. You're helping allow to be used by somebody else because you're not caring about yourself. And to also understand, how can I put it? You got to shift your perspective from in a huge way. I mean, I guess when I'm looking at it from a religious standpoint, and not attacking anything, but just looking at it as your fundamental belief system. Whatever it sits upon is what needs to be shaken. And patience. One thing that has really come to me lately is understanding that we are timeless people, and it's not to be procrastinating about it, but it's to be diligent in knowing that whatever I need to do it now, and even within all odds, against all odds, I need to go do it, because even if you don't see the fruits of your labor, whoever comes behind you will pick up where you left off. Just like all of our greats, from Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, any of our people who've done something, we call upon their names today. They are part of the history of what we're going through. And so it's about just doing what you know to do, and also being patient. And when you see these stories, sit and think about the fact that they've studied society at large to try to understand how society at large will respond if they do this or that. And now they're doing this or that. And so if we're not thinking like they might be thinking, then we're going to be doing exactly what they predicted. So that my first thing again is to get our minds focused mentally, really meditate. What you eat is big. We have parasites in this. Some of these parasites in this are destructive, and they're there to destroy, and they want to harm. So now you got these things in your body giving off these type of energies, trying to harm and destroy you. And so you're going to go eat stuff that's going to kill you. And so even if the cops don't kill you, you're going to kill yourself. So that's another way that the system stays at power. The system of white supremacy, to be specific. And just really love each other again. And that's what's going to get us to talking to our neighbors, because we care about them. We don't want to see them destroyed. And so we're going to go and give them some information that potentially can save their life. But first, you got to do for yourself. You have to give yourself information that will save your life, because that's where it starts. Sometimes we get fixated about the outside, and we all know that this is an amazing, elaborate reality we live in. But to me, what's most amazing is what's inside. to allow me to observe all this. And that's where we have to use that as our foundation in some way, shape, or form. We got to get back to understanding we're infinite, amazing beings put on this planet to help and to grow it, not to destroy it.
Shay, what some of the things I wanted to add to what I said earlier. We talked about looking up the King Alfred plan, which is something that's really very simple to do. King Alfred, ALFRED plan, and which lists some of the many of the executive orders that we talked about today. And look up a lot of times we have to be informed to make informed decisions. Informed decisions have more strategy inherently because you have knowledge to back it up, and that's something that you can't stress enough. Think before we act. What is the action that we're going to do? I mean, even in our daily lives, what are the things that we're doing? Are they getting us where we want to go? Do we even know where we want to go? I'm trying to bring it back to earth, but that's something like day-to-day life type things. Look up the dash cam footage for Sandra Bland so you can see this is real life evidence of what's going on, the state of emergency that we're in today, and follow the case. Follow the case. Don't let it fade away like the rest of the martyrs to this cause. Don't let it fade away. Keep her voice. Keep saying her name. I mean, I have her picture, Sandra Bland's picture, as my status, and I have for several weeks now. The other thing, someone made a comment about the Ferguson, what's going on in Ferguson, and they made this earlier this year as well, that if those people in Ferguson, they were putting their lives on the line and blocking, so they're protesting the police and getting tear gassed and stopping traffic and all these things. If they were also, I'm not saying stop doing that, I'm saying they were also pulling their resources together to figure out what each other do. And I know that I've seen a video, and it's happening in smaller circles, but if that was a commitment with a larger group of those people to support the businesses that they do have, just to channel those resources strategically into what they do have. Maybe it's only one store. Maybe it's only a couple things to be able to buy them in bulk and use these resources, this mass of people, as a catalyst to do some greater things. You have a large enough people to do something like stop traffic. You have a large enough people to start using cooperative economics, and so that's one of the things. Another thing is going door to door while it's still warm, and especially those places that it's warm all year round. Get to know your neighbors. Get a few people. 3, 2. If you got to start by yourself, where you feel it's and just do things cautiously and safely. But there's a group out of Detroit called New Era Detroit, and they did something called Hood to Hood, and they did 18 weeks of it, going to different parts of the city of Detroit, 18 weeks straight, and just a mass of people just going through neighborhoods and talking to people, and letting people see us in Red, Black, and Green, and letting people see us vocal about what it is that we're here for. One man, one woman, one child, united. And so these are some of the things that start small but then swell and grow, and it's healing. And a lot of times we don't acknowledge the healing that seeing people actually doing something does, because it removes the doubt that it's possible. Challenge yourself, as Info Keep said, to prepare. Just a challenge. Prepare to be able to have to be able to just stay in your home for a week, and if you really want to, for a month. I mean, this is with food for your family, food for yourself. Prepare. challenge yourself to be able to do that. Because when things get hairy, get crazy, you don't want to be out there trying to figure out what you're gonna do, how you're gonna feed your family, what when there's all this time to prepare and you can be having your plan in place and all these other things and figuring out where how you're going to strategically locate and all these things in that time versus trying to figure out how you're going to get to the store when it's being all these people are here and it's going to be chaos. So even if you just look at it as a challenge, put some money aside, give less allowance. Say your allowance is going towards these groceries, building this pantry up because we love our family. So many things. We're doing something called Soulful Sundays, and we wanted this to catch on and go viral. Soulful Sundays, we're asking that declaring Soulful Sundays a day of action and a day of not supporting, not shopping. And if you must shop and if you must go get something to eat, support a black business. And the other time throughout the day, find a program that's going on and give your time to that. Find a garden, find a farm. In Detroit, we have D-Town Farms and several other local gardens to give time to. And so let's make that something that's big. This hashtag Soulful Sundays. And you see people do Soulful Sundays in other ways, but let's make this meaningful. I think that's what I have.
Absolutely. No, all of the things incorporated into a mental shift. Being prepared is shifting. It's shifting yourself to love, and that's where the solutions always is. I recently heard that there's nothing wrong with the world. It's just the people are. We're the ones who reflect and shape this world the most. So the universe as a whole is intact. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So keep that in mind.
And with that said, I want to make some announcements. You have anything else you want to add? I want to make some announcements. This is a pretty, this is a very exciting summer. We knew that this summer was going to be jam-packed, and we knew that it was going to be exciting in some not so good ways and some exciting in some very great ways as well. Some of the things that are going up, we told you about the Soulful Sundays initiative that we encourage everyone to do no matter where you are, whether you're across the country, across the world. So that's a thing. The other thing is that we will be at African World Festival here in Detroit, broadcasting live at the at the Next Gen stage, talking about water, interviewing a couple of the people in the water movement in Detroit. We got asked to show what ReadYO is about, and so they were gracious enough to create that space for us, and we're just gonna come here and give an example of what we do here, and make it relevant to Detroit and the water crisis that's going on.
What day and time is that?
That is August 16th, 3 p.m. That's a Sunday at 3 p.m. Next Gen stage, African World Festival, which is a 3-day festival every year. And the last announcement is that we've been invited, the ReadYO Radio team, to do to present at the Detroit Emergency Preparedness and Surviving Police Encounters workshop, which is on the 29th, and that is at the what center is it? It's on Facebook. There's an event called Detroit Emergency Preparedness and Surviving Police Encounters, and also Brother Dr. Ali Muhammad will be at Davos this Saturday at 3 p.m. So there's a lot going on. And the last announcement is that we've been also invited to present at Hood Camp. We talked about this last year, Mount Goddess Shoe in Highland Park, which is a city inside of Detroit.